The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
I was in St. Louis last week, and I wanted to go to my friend's wedding. And I went to the airport, and I got there, and the flight was supposed to leave at 9, and I was supposed to go to Detroit and transfer to Miami, get to the Uber, 4 o'clock, hit the wedding. Awesome. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I look out the gate window. There's no plane. I fly a lot. Baruch Hashem, I should be zoche. I never happened before my whole life. I've never had a situation where no one knows where the plane is. I got all the apps. And not only do I have Mossad blogs, I got like airplane blogs. Because maybe in some life I was flying planes for Bar Kochva or something, I don't know. The plane's nowhere. The plane's in 2 terminals over. And I asked the lady, the plane's in Terminal A. She's like, yeah, we know it. The plane's not here. How come the plane's not here? She goes, I don't know. 9:10, 9:20, 9:30, 9:40, then the board changes, 11 o'clock. I missed my plane. My flight's going to land in Detroit an hour too late. I called the guy. He was awesome. I got to tell you, Delta was great. They called American Airlines. It's President's Day weekend, no flights going to Miami. I missed my friend's wedding. My close friend, high school, lives down the block, waiting for his daughter. I missed the wedding. Everyone came except for me. So I remember Rav Shalom Arush, we did an event together, and Rav Shalom Arush has this incredible story about how you're supposed to thank Hashem for all your troubles. You think you know better than life? You think we know better than the Kodesh Baruch Hu? Kodesh Baruch Hu gives you a challenge, and now we have Tainus and the Eibishter? You thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for your challenges. So I remember he said that. He told the story of this woman who couldn't have kids for 10 years, and she came to him and said, I need your advice. And he said, I'm going to give you something to do, but you're going to say no. And she goes, no, just anything. He goes, I'm going to tell you you're going to say no. She goes, anything. He goes, I want you to go home every day for an hour and thank Hashem for not giving you children. She goes, what, are you crazy? Because I told you. She did. She went home for an hour. Thank you, Hashem, for not giving me kids. 1 year later, he was signed to get her breasts. I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. Can I tell you the truth? I thought it was going to happen like on the first time. I'd be like, thank you, Hashem, for saying, I'm like, wow, I'm a tzaddik. It didn't happen that way. I did it, I'm like, I don't feel better, Hashem. I did it, I'm like, I don't feel better, Hashem. I did it 15, 20, 30 times. Like I said, I thought, honestly, I'd get on the plane after doing it like 10 times. I thought it was like the perfect story. I thought I'd get on the plane and like the plane door would open up. You know, and I'd grab a guy's hand, and he'd be like, don't let me go. And I'd be like, I'll never let you go, stranger. And he comes in, and I'm like, what's your name? And he's like, my name is so-and-so. I'm like, oh, my grandfather saved your grandfather in the Holocaust. And now you have a package from Har Sinai, and you're giving it to me in the plane, and everyone claps, and Delta flies around and lands in Israel, and Mashiach's like, I can't believe it I thought that was happening for sure. I'm on the plane going like, where's my stop? Like, I'm ready to roll. It didn't happen. I just took off and I landed. Then I got in an Uber, which is a miracle unto itself. If you know LaGuardia Airport. I get home and my whole day, thank you, Hashem, thank you, Hashem, thank you, Hashem, thank you. Not helping, thank you, Hashem, thank you. And it's actually helping after a while. It does. It gets in. If you say thank you, Hashem, enough times, it gets in. So I go to work, I come back, and my wife says to me, Charlie, some guy dropped off a package for you. I said, who? She goes, I don't know who he is. I'm like, you don't recognize him? She goes, I don't recognize him. I'm like, what, he just walked in and handed you a package? She's like, yeah, he knocked on the door and said, is Charlie home? I said, no. He goes, give this to him. I'm like, that is so mysterious. Maybe I am on the Mossad. Was it a gun and a nuclear power? She's like, can you relax? Stop it. I'm like, I'm sorry. I was just going crazy. I go to my dining room table. On my dining room table is a little package, and the package had tons of paraphernalia. Thank you, Hashem. And clearly, the Kodesh Baruch Hu was saying, I can't explain it to you, Charlie, but like, I can't give you a hug, but here's a fist bump. You're my bro. That's how I interpret Hashem speaking to me. Because I'm from Brooklyn. But I'm from Canarsie, where we speak that way, not in Flatbush. It would have been more Yiddish, I think, if I was born here. So here's the back end of the story. You ready? 3 days later, the guy called me. His name is Harary. I never met him. He said, I'm the guy who dropped off the package. I said, why did you drop off the package in my house? He goes, you have a minute for a story? I'm like, yeah. Are you my long-lost cousin from the Holocaust? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, are you on the Mossad? He's like, no. I'm like, I don't want to hear your story. Click. That's not what happened in the end. He said, he's a salesman in the neighborhood. And he said, that week I had the worst sales of my life, of my month. Every month I have quotas. It goes the whole week, I was out. No quotas. I couldn't hit anything. I wasn't even close. And I get to the end of my Thursday, and I said, I'm not even like close to my quota for the week. I'm like, he's like, I just couldn't. So he goes, I left the office, I went to get a haircut, and I'm just like, wait a second. Hashem's in my life. Hashem's in my life. Hashem's here. He wants to have a small week. I'm having a slow week. I'm beating Hashem. I'm smarter than him. I'm not smarter than Hashem. What you give me, I'm a kabul, he says. He's sitting there getting a haircut saying, I know better than you. Thank you. Thank you. I see you, Hashem. I see you in my slow week. I see you in the challenges. You think I'm running from you? Bekerev haaretz. He's ripping Amalek out, piece by piece, out of his heart. He comes back to the office, and on the way back, he gets a call from the vendor that owed him a lot of money that wouldn't pay him. Just called him and goes, hi, so-and-so. He goes, hi, I haven't heard from you. I've been calling you every day for the past 2 weeks. He goes, yeah, I just want to let you know that I have your check. I'm sorry I haven't spoken to you. I'm overnighting it to you. He's like, oh my gosh. Now watch this. You ready? How did I get this hat? A month and a half ago, I'm at a meeting, and a guy's wearing a hat. And I say, hey, nice hat. I didn't know that guy, my friend Guy, turned to his friend Ari and said, Charlie likes the hat. And Ari said, why don't I make him a package? He took a package, put it in his car. It's sitting in his car for a month. In the back, he gets a car wash. And you know what he turns around when you get a car wash? You know what you look at? Your car. He turns around and sees in the back of his seat, my package. Now, I want you to picture this happening. I bet you as he's doing this, my cab is probably pulling into the 5 towns, and I'm probably sitting in the car going, thank you, Hashem, thank you, Hashem, thank you, Hashem. And at the exact same time, he's probably in the car wash going, hey, I should bring that over to Charlie. I'll do that later. He goes back to his office. He says, as I sat down, for some reason, sales started pouring in out of nowhere. He goes, in 2 hours, I made more money than the entire week. Just pouring. People calling left and right. I don't know where this came from. And he got up and he said, Hashem, I want to do something for you. What can I do for you? He goes, I know. I'm going to bring over the package to Charlie. He gets in his car. If you could just picture, he pulls right into my house, knocks on my door, hands it to my wife, gets into his car, and basically, if you look at the timing, as he pulls out of my block, my car pulls in from the other side of the block. And that package is waiting for me after sitting in his car for a month. Tell the story to a friend of mine in Florida, my friend Yaakov Gibber. You know what he said to me? Hashem was going to give you some nechama. You said, thank you, Hashem. Hashem was going to hook you up a little bit. But because your friend Guy said something to Ari, and because Ari did this thing, everyone is just one player in this drama that got one little bit of Hashem saying, I love you. Each of them could have said, I'm not doing it, and then someone else would have done it. But because everybody did what they were supposed to do, everything worked out perfectly.